Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show, and I'm here talking about some NBA. So let's get right into it here. So, we're talking about some NBA news. I've done a wrestling news yesterday, or last night, so if you go check that out, go check that out. And I also did NFL news, so a lot of news I covered there, so now let's get to the NBA. So, according to Florida Sports Buzz here, Portland is, quote, unmotivated to get a deal done with Miami right now. So, according to Florida Sports Buzz, Portland, they're kind of unmotivated to get a deal done with Miami. Portland, I guess, just has zero interest right now in what Miami's trying to offer. Them not wanting to trade Dame for absolutely nothing would tell you the exact opposite. I guess they're motivated as a franchise to keep Damian Lillard. They don't want to trade him for just, I guess, picks and Tyler Hero. I mean, there's no reason they should have to trade Damian Lillard unless they get a better offer than what they originally got from the Heat, reportedly. Man, the Heat fans are realizing they might not get Dame after those trade proposals. That's crazy. Zach Lowe, talked about James Harden. He said, quote, if you talk to people around him, he's not backing down. He wants out of Philadelphia. End quote, Zach Lowe and James Harden. It's no secret, if you talk to James Harden, he wants out of Philadelphia, because I feel like he wants to go to a team like the Clippers. But, it's just, I don't know what teams, why you'd want to trade for him. It's just a reminder that no one else was willing to give him that contract. But why would anyone want to trade for him, though, when he's going to do the same thing to their team in a year or two, and he's not worth the risk anymore, because he's not dropping 30 and 10 a game anymore. He's just not a winning player when it comes to the postseason. So, Harden's kind of, I guess, determined to be on the Clippers next season. But I feel like he's going to do the same thing he's done to the Nets and the Sixers. You're not going to win a championship. It's just the facts. End of the day. That's just the facts you look at the end of the day. So next thing I'll talk about is Karl Anthony Towns. So, per Ian Begley, Karl Anthony Towns' name came up in trade talks, apparently, last month. Quote, there were talks between the Timberwolves and other teams before the draft, and Towns' name came up. I don't know how aggressive the Timberwolves were with Towns, if at all. So, it sounds like that his name came up in trade talks, like last month before the draft. And his name came up, but I doubt the Timberwolves were aggressive trying to trade Towns. I just don't think his cap hit towards the end of the contract is probably scaring some teams that might have interest in making a move. I understand why teams wouldn't want to get him, because he has so much, that big contract, and he's injury prone. He always seems to somehow get injured. It's just, he's not worth that much, in my opinion. I don't know if I would trade for him. So, Paul Pierce talked about Damian Lillard. He says the Miami Heat won't make it out of the first round if they get Damian Lillard, Paul Pierce said. They made it to the finals without Damian Lillard this past season. What Paul Pierce said here is just wrong. Keep that same energy. He just hates that he did playing in Boston most of his career. Paul Pierce dishing out horrible takes will be like, I'll fucking do it again. He still hasn't recovered from this past season's playoff elimination. So Anton Walker talked about his top 5 scorers of all time. He gave his top 5 scorers. He said Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Larry Bird, Allen Iverson, and Wilt Chamberlain are his top 5 scorers of all time. And the person who's scored the most of all time. Well, I don't know about LeBron James, but how do you not have Kareem here? Like, maybe Kareem. Even though I don't like LeBron, maybe you could put LeBron here. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I would think about it. Put them in the top 5 like scorers. Yeah, here's what I was talking about at the beginning with the offer. So per your report here, Miami was willing to offer 3 first-round picks and Tyler Hero for Damian Lillard. Portland, it's like, hey Miami, what do you got to trade for Damian Lillard? Like, they're like greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes. They're like, we don't got nothing to trade. Man, I mean, I would think about doing this deal, but I mean, I just don't think this trade is it. But would they really leak their trade out, what they're going to do, though? But Miami never leaks information, though, so I don't know if I'm buying into this report here. Because no one even knows of Miami's offer, or if they even officially made one yet. Unless Chris B. Haynes report this, because he's really close with Damian Lillard. Miami never leaks information. You never see them leak information like this, so I'm kind of not buying into this report here. But maybe this wouldn't be enough, even if it was legit. Darvin Ham says Austin Reeves will be an all-star, quote, at some point. I don't think he's going to be an all-star. Like, I mean, he did average 17, 4, and 4 in the postseason. I wouldn't be surprised if he averaged 20 points per game next season. But I don't think he's going to be an all-star, though. This kind of, I mean, maybe this isn't out of the reach at all. This isn't, like, a big reach, but I don't think he's going to be an all-star. It's too early to say. So, per Johan Buha, Gabe Vincent has a, quote, legitimate chance to steal D'Angelo Russell's starting job. Quote, this is an open competition, and Vincent has a legitimate chance to steal the starting job. He's the better defender than Russell, and a more natural off-ball fit as a lower range, lower usage catch-and-shoot threat. Unlike Russell, Vincent's defensive chops prevent him from being played off the floor in the postseason. As he showed during the Heat's finals run, at a minimum, Vincent is the early closer, end quote. I really don't care. I mean, whoever the best point guard is should start. But he's right. Vincent could take his spot because his defense is better, and I feel like he's better in the postseason. And I feel like this would be a smart move. But you have to like the level of competitiveness you're seeing in training camp at multiple positions, though, for the Lakers, if you're a Lakers fan in the offseason. I know the D'Angelo Russell slander's going in hand, but he's just incredibly inconsistent in the postseason. I would give Gabe Vincent a shot and see what happens. Paul Pierce said via show basketball, he would like to see Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green play each other in a 1v1. Draymond in a 1v1? Yeah, there's no interest. Couldn't give 2 fucks, mate. So Chris Paul. So per Sam Amick, Chris Paul's holding out some hope that there's a way for him to start next season next to Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Excuse me now, Chris Paul. Quote, when he pushed back against the idea that he would come off the bench for the Warriors this season during the introductory news conference in Vegas on Sunday, it's safe to assume that he knew precisely what he was doing. Regardless of what comes next, it's quite clear that Paul is holding out some hope and there's a way for him to start. And no, people, not in replacement of Steph and or Klay, but with them in a small ball lineup. Oh, brother. I don't want to have a fucking small ball lineup. Like, get this dude off the road. But it's time to be a sixth man. Respectfully, Chris Paul. Like Jesus, dude. Like, this... Like, come off the bench. Be a sixth man. You're not going to start. Your only shot at starting is next is if Curry or Clay goes down with injury. But why would you start him over Andrew Wiggins? The lineup would not get a single rebound. Except for Wiggins and Draymond. Like, I don't want to see this dude start, I'm sorry. Tyler Hero and Ben Simmons working out. Oh boy. Another off season, another Ben Simmons workout. All for him just to pass up on open layups in the regular season. So, per a report here, James Harden, he still wants out of Philadelphia and is, quote, determined to end up with the Clippers, per Sam Amick, via The Athletic. Harden's stance has not changed. A source close to him told The Athletic he still wants to leave Philadelphia. He's still upset with how Morey handled his situation, heading into possible free agency last month. And even with the recent revelation that Harden attended the same MBPA party as Sixers co-star Joel Embiid and former Sixers owner Michael Rubin in Vegas, he's still determined to start next season in a Clippers jersey, end quote. So he's still determined to leave Philadelphia, which is not a surprise. I mean, Clippers have been an option for a while. And the Clippers are about to have a mid-3 with Harden, Paul George, and Leonard. Two of them are going to be injured, and Harden's going to be inconsistent. But yeah, if I was the Sixers, I would just trade him. I would just let him go, to be honest. So the Ringer, they have a trade idea. The Raptors would receive Damian Lillard and Azar Little. The Blazers receive Scotty Barnes, Gary Trent Jr., Chris Boucher, Thaddeus Young, Otto Porter Jr., a 2029 pick swap, and a 2028 protected first-round pick. Math. Whoever from the Ringer made this trade ideas on math. What is this? Good grief. No way Scotty's gonna get traded. Like, if there's a player not getting traded, it's Scotty Barnes. Everybody else is probably tradable, but I would not trade all this for Damian Lillard. Like, why would you trade two good young players and Scotty Barnes and Gary Trent just for a few years with Damian Lillard when you can have these two young guys for the future? That makes no sense. Now let's get to a few things here from Adrian Wojnarowski. The Miami Heat are guaranteeing forward Haywood Highsmith's contract for the 2023-24 season. They're guaranteeing his contract. Per his agent, he has a July 15th guaranteed date. So, probably not the news Miami Heat fans were hoping for. That they're probably hoping for a trade announcement. Free agent forward Braxton Keys agreed on a two-way contract with the Denver Nuggets. His agent Agents Anthony Coleman and Max Lipset of Axel Basketball tell ESPN. Signed a day after a game-winning putback dunk. But yeah, I think it's all for the NFL. That's it. So that's really all to say for this video. So until next time, Peace.